always knew my son was ADHD. Like, my labor with my son was hyper. I didn't know that till I was pregnant with my daughter and went in to the midwives, and she said, "Oh, that's really interesting. You had a hyperstimulated labor. That's really rare if you haven't been induced." There is a huge correlation between traumatic births and ADHD, autism, dyspraxia, dyslexia, all the umbrella terms. We don't know specifically why that is, like it's a gene presentation. So there is a hereditary link with all of these beautiful neurodevelopmental differences. And there seems to be a huge correlation between a traumatic birth and these things. Even in utero, my son was like everything moving. The kid never stopped moving. And I've now had another child after that, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't normal. Like that level of activity wasn't normal. He, from like the moment he kind of was just born, he was alert, he was awake, and all the other babies would lie there and he'd be batting toys. And from 6 weeks old, he was rolling over, and we've got like videos of him like chain rolling at 6 weeks old. By the time he was 4 months, I had to set up stations around the living room and move him every 5 to 10 minutes because he was so flippin' bored. He was a wonderful child, like full of energy. Like you could take him anywhere. You'd be like, we're going to a dumpster, and he'd be like, oh my God, that's exciting, right? Like everything was exciting. And when I spoke to the nursery, it was really frustrating because they were like, yeah, well, he is like Tigger. They're like, he bounces in. He's like Tigger. They're like, but he's a wonderful child. He can't have ADHD. And that's where it started. It was this stigma of how can such a cute, lovely child have ADHD? And like, that is so angering. Wonderful people have ADHD. Like what they were looking for was like a really naughty boy. That's what they were looking for. Someone that was flipping tables, not somebody that was full of smiles.